Good morning, everyone. Well, what a way to wrap up the week. Big Tech reminded investors why they're still betting big on artificial intelligence. While one of the most talked about names in AI investing saw one of the fastest collapses Wall Street has witnessed in years. Hey everyone, it's Saturday morning, August 1st, and welcome back to Capital Markets Quickie. I'm your host, Endrit Sella, here to break down yesterday's market action in just 2 minutes. Quick note before we dive in. Today's episode is brought to you by AMF Capital Asset Management Frankfurt. Learn more about our funds and strategies at amf-capital.de. All right, let's get started. So, markets finished yesterday on a strong note despite another jump in bond yields. The Nasdaq gained roughly 1%, the Standard & Poor's 500 climbed about 0.7%, and the Dow added around 0.5%. Even better, all three major indexes ended the week higher, with the Dow also posting a solid gain for the month. Now, the bond market is still sending a warning signal. The 10-year Treasury yield climbed to around 4.73%, its highest level since early last year, as investors continue to digest the Federal Reserve's decision to keep interest rates unchanged without giving much guidance about what comes next. Corporate earnings stayed in the spotlight. Amazon surged about 15% after another impressive quarter and optimistic comments about its chip business. Apple moved the opposite way, falling roughly 7% after disappointing investors with weaker services and China revenue. And all of this came just one day after Microsoft's historic rally. One thing is becoming increasingly clear. The biggest technology companies aren't slowing down their AI ambitions. Amazon, Microsoft, Meta, and Alphabet now expect to spend between $720 billion and $745 billion on capital investments next year, reinforcing the idea that the AI race is still accelerating. Meanwhile, oil prices moved higher again as tensions around the Strait of Hormuz disrupted shipping activity. Higher oil prices could keep inflation pressure alive and make the Federal Reserve's job even more complicated in the months ahead. And finally, I want to mention a story that's been circulating quietly for weeks but exploded into the headlines yesterday. Leopold Aschenbrenner's AI-focused hedge fund, Situational Awareness, reportedly collapsed after highly leveraged AI bets unraveled during the recent technology sell-off. The fund had become one of the hottest names in AI investing, but margin calls forced massive asset sales before Citadel stepped in to acquire much of its public stock portfolio. It's another reminder that even the strongest investment themes can become incredibly dangerous when leverage gets involved. All right, that's it for today's Capital Markets Quickie. If you found this helpful, hit subscribe and stay in the loop. See you Monday morning.